I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, you attract how you act. I've got an email from a guy who's been following me, I guess he says about a year now, and he basically shares how my work has impacted his life and his perception and how he goes about not only his personal life, but just life in general and the kind of people he tolerates and what a positive impact the philosophy that I teach has had on his life. So I have a quote that I wrote, and then we're going to go through his email. And the quote says, "You attract how you act in life. What you focus on will expand. Like attracts like. What you tolerate tends to grow. Therefore, in order to create the life and lifestyle that you really want, you must not tolerate people and circumstances in your life that are not aligned with your highest goals, values, ideals, and desires. When you tolerate people in your life who have low standards, you are basically creating a vibration that will attract more people with low standards into your life. What you observe, you participate in. By only spending your time with people who have high standards for themselves and who share the same values and goals, you will ensure that you continue to attract more like-minded people into your life who will enthusiastically help, support, nurture, encourage, and co-create with you so you can reach your full potential." So he says, "Dear Corey, how are you doing? I cannot tell you how much your work means to me, as I have been following you for over a year now through videos and reading your book for the 5th time. That's pretty good, but only 5 times in a year, dude. 10 to 15 times, bro. Gotta learn the fundamentals. Inside and out, backwards and forwards, so you don't have to think about it anymore." He says, "You have inspired me to live a healthier life, be more careful about who I let into my circle, and I just finished my first marathon and I feel great." That's fucking awesome. When you love yourself, you value yourself, you want to take better care of your body, you're going to want to eat more healthy, more alkaline type of foods. And for those of you who haven't read it yet, I highly recommend Dr. Robert Young's books. First one, The pH Miracle, and another one that's really great. It has a lot of pictures of live blood analysis. It's called Sick and Tired, Reclaim Your Inner Terrain. You can get them both on Amazon.com. It'll really teach you how the human body works so you can understand it, what causes, why you get colds, things of that nature. And once you understand it and you employ the same kind of diet that he teaches, and that I've been doing for, like 13, 14 years now at this point, getting cold, sick, all those are just things of the past. You have a lot more energy, you're healthier, skin's better. I mean, I'm 45, and everybody always tells me how good I look for my age. It's because I exercise and I eat good, healthy foods. The kind of foods that actually nurture your cells and give them life. Your cells need oxygen, they need the proper nutrients, and the ability to eliminate waste. And if your diet is mostly acid-forming foods, lots of carbs, lots of proteins, almost non-existent greens in your diet, you're going to have health challenges. You're going to be getting sick. You're going to have problems. It's going to be hard for you to maintain your ideal weight and look young and feel young and be mentally sharp and mentally clear. He says, "To your point about deserving a girl who knocks my socks off, you are absolutely right." Well, I might not always be right, but I'm never wrong. "I just got out of a 3.5-year relationship that was going nowhere. And after watching your videos, I came to realize that it's best to get out now instead of wasting any more time with this girl. We were 2 totally different people when we met, and those serious imbalances in values and beliefs only grew worse with time." Yeah, because what happens is at first you're lovey-dovey, and it's great, she's hot, sex is great, oh, it's wonderful, we're going to live happily ever after. But at the end of the day, when you don't share the same goals and values with somebody, they don't have the same high standards that you have, over a while you're going to start to lose respect for them. If you're very driven, very focused, and the other person is fucking lazy, they don't work out, they don't eat right, they work a shitty job, they're terrible with money, whatever it happens to be, that shit starts to grate on your nerves after a while. You want a teammate. You want an equal. Because life is hard enough, especially relationships, friendships, all of your relationships. You want to be with like-minded people who share the same high standards, goals, and vision for their life that you do. It's one of the things that Steve Jobs talked about in his biography. It's what I've also found in my own businesses, is that when you have A-type players, in other words, people that are working at a company, that love what they're doing, that are passionate about what they're doing, they feel like they're making a difference in the world with whatever it is that they do for a living, and then you get a B and C-type player who doesn't share those same standards, who doesn't share those same kind of values, the A players start to resent the B and C players. And if management continues to tolerate people like that, then eventually the A players become disillusioned with the company, and they leave and they go work somewhere else because they want to work with like-minded people. Now, I'm sure everybody watching this video has worked at a job that they've really worked hard at and done a good job at, and they worked with other people that were just fucking lazy asses, were doing the bare minimum just to not get fired. And it fucking sucks because you always end up picking up the slack from the other person. She hangs out with losers, and I prefer classy people. She wastes her money, and I'm very careful with mine. I'm a giver, and she is a taker. And on I can go on. Well, when you give to a giver, the giver gives back. When you give to a taker, the taker just fucking sucks. Fucking energy vampires. He says, I thought of your advice when watching Adam Sandler trying to court his girl in Punch Drunk Love. About an hour into the film, he calls her to meet up, and the excitement in her voice is what got my attention. A few minutes later in the film, they meet, and she sees him and runs towards him and kisses him. He says in big bold letters, this is what life should be like with a woman. Yep, but you got to have the high standards, because most people tolerate mediocrity, and they tolerate a woman going, yeah, okay, yeah, I guess I'll get together. It's better to sit at home looking at the four walls and, hey, it'll be a nice dinner. Maybe I'll meet some other guy when I'm out with you. Why would you want to go out with somebody that's not excited to be with you? That's having low standards. You tolerate that bullshit, you're going to continue to attract those kind of people in your life. That's the way the universe works. Until you overcome something, until you grow past a certain type of person that you seem to keep attracting, you got to learn to recognize when they're not aligned with you and be able to move on. If they're the right person, they'll keep up. They'll raise their standards of yours. And if they're not, they'll fall behind and you end up leaving them behind. Women should be excited to get our calls and see us. Yep. He says, whenever I witness a tepid or meh response from women, I shake my head and remember there is just no way I can see myself dealing with that kind of nonsense. Thanks to you, I fully realize the only woman I could ever be serious with is one who is willing to jump fences to see me. We are not second-class citizens. We are men. Yes. He says, lastly, I feel like an F-111 pilot because I sit in the cockpit cruising through the atmosphere of life. Yeah, it's true. I can fly and navigate the aircraft on my own. No problem there, as I am a combat veteran. Thanks for your service, by the way. Scuba diver and mountaineer. However, wouldn't it be great to see a great girl choose to get into my cockpit, sit right next to me, and help guide the aircraft to takeoff? That's what having a teammate is all about. Somebody that shares the same goals, the same values, and the same high standards for their life that you do for yours. Not only will they hold you accountable, but you can hold them accountable, and you'll be great together. But you try to hold somebody with low standards accountable to your high standards, it's never going to end well. He says, hell yeah, it would be. You're absolutely right about a girl's attitude needing to be in the right place with us as men. No games, no bullshit, no excuses. Just being a man who lives his truth and finding the right woman to match us. That's the thing is most people give up. They just want to have a warm body next to them. And they ignore the fact that this other person's just not in the same place, hoping it'll get better, or thinking, oh, God, well, at least she's better than the last person, and what happens if the next one's not so good? And that's the worst thing you can do, is you start tolerating that bullshit in your personal life, and then it just spills over. Why go to the fucking gym? If you're with a girl that's just average to you, she doesn't excite you, and you don't really excite her, you're not going to go to the gym and work out. You're not going to want to eat healthy. You're not going to give a fuck. You're not going to care about working hard at a career. You're not going to care about being a great parent. You'll be an average parent. You'll do the best that you feel like you can, but you'll never really be outstanding. He says, anyway, I really cannot tell you how much I appreciate your book and videos, and I will continue to practice what you teach. My next message to you will come with even more positive energy and news, I am certain. Well, you know what? That was a great story, great fucking email. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for raising your standards in life and holding that. Because you can have high standards, but if you tolerate bullshit, if you tolerate a B and C player into your life, it's just a matter of time before they drag you down to their level, because misery loves company. And people that are B and C players, they're just not in a place where they're open to it. They haven't made a choice or decision like you have if you're watching this video to be awesome, to make their lives awesome, their body awesome, their health awesome, their friendships awesome, their intimate relationships awesome, their career awesome, their businesses awesome, and just have an awesome life and lifestyle and do awesome things with awesome people. People that haven't made that choice, all they're going to do is hold you back. Love them, love your family, but choose your peers, because the quality of your life is going to be in direct proportion to the quality of the people who you consistently spend your time with. That's definitely something to think about. And if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.